And good morning, everybody. Welcome, Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. How are you, my friend?
I am good. Was your weekend good, I trust? I hope.
It was a good weekend.
Good.
Played golf, did
Good.
some skiing, watched some movies. How about you?
Went to Phoenix to see our two older kids and left Friday, got back late last night. Fit in a lot of, nuggets, obviously, yesterday, and watched Scotty Scheffler for a while. Win the PGA, which was actually pretty good fun. But we start with the Nuggets, and I don't think it's a particularly surprising ending to what was otherwise really a pretty good postseason.
Yeah, bad weekend for Denver fans on two fronts. Number one, Nuggets lose. Number two, the Dallas Stars are going to the Western Conference Finals. Yeah. And for a lot of Avs fans, they are probably thinking that should have been us beating Winnipeg. With that, I want to tell you about the Sportsbook Bar and Grill. I popped over there on Friday just to have some lunch, another outstanding lunch. I tell you about their burgers all the time. They're really creative. One burger that I absolutely love, and I know you're not a meat eater, so let's just throw it on a turkey burger just for fun. Do you like blue cheese? Are you a blue cheese fan?
Yep.
Do you like the taste of like fig jam?
Yes.
Combine gorgonzola blue cheese with fig jam, throw it on a burger with a little bit of arugula on a brioche bun, and that is absolutely tremendous. That is what I had. Of course, I had to have the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. I was going to get the cheese curds. I don't want to really gain that much weight. But besides the great food, it's just such a great atmosphere to watch games at the Sportsbook Bar and Grill. They do more than just the four major sports. They have rugby, they have UFC, they have all the soccer matches as well. That should be your sports bar. It is my sports bar. Go check them out in the DTC in Highlands Ranch and coming soon to Parker. Time now for The Lead.
The Lead is presented by Sasquatch Casino, a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
I'm kind of wondering if the pain of yesterday's loss feels a little less because going into the game, we felt that Aaron Gordon wasn't even going to play.
Yeah, whatever it is, and you get off to the quick start, so you begin to kind of imagine the possibilities. You got Aaron Gordon playing. You got, shots are going down. They're doing some good things. They look good to a degree. And then the end of the quarter comes, and it's like, oh. And then the second quarter happens, and it's like, nah. And then there's an inevitability factor that just kind of sets in that really by midway through the third quarter, you're starting to think about how you start to put this team together for next year.
Right.
That's where we are. And I guess it shouldn't surprise. I would have hoped that the Nuggets could have been a little bit more competitive, but at the end of the day, what does it really matter? I mean, the manner in which they lost the game. They weren't the better team. Oklahoma City, to me, looks like the team to beat in the rest of this tournament right now. So we'll just have to see how it all plays out, but looking forward to a very interesting offseason for the Denver Nuggets.
I am not so sure a fully healthy Aaron Gordon would have made a difference.
I'm with you.
Starting in the second quarter, that defense was swarming. It looked like they had about 7 guys out there.
Yep, it did.
And, oh, by the way, if every team has an Alex Caruso, then Nikola Jokic is not going to have any more MVP seasons. Because you talk about a guy who is giving up a ton of weight, a ton of height, but his tenacity to make sure that the ball could not get to Jokic was impressive. The way that he was quicker to the ball when the ball was coming in, when Jokic had the ball. And just for fun, I'll just throw this out there. Not like people haven't thought about it, but I'll throw some numbers out there. Calvin Booth thought it was a good idea to re-sign Zeke Nnaji for roughly $9 million. That's what it costs to get Alex Caruso.
Alex Caruso, that's basically all it took. It didn't take anything other than, here, do you want to come play for us? There was no wrangling of players or this, that, and the other thing. It was a simple deal made, and it's one that any team could have made for a guy like Alex Caruso. And it's the great lament of this postseason, because in a way it represents what I think is going to be the conversation of what are the pieces that you can, what now can you put around Nikola Jokic to put them in a better position to go deeper and win a championship. Look, Nikola Jokic himself is the bearer of caution with this moving forward. They aren't deep enough. He said what so many of us have been thinking, not just for this season, but really for the last couple of seasons. They just don't have the type of depth. They don't have the type of bench that allows them the type of time to rest those first five guys who are really good, but weren't necessarily great yesterday. Jamal Murray was just a guy yesterday. Gordon, obviously courageous. Michael Porter Jr., courageous. I get it. We've talked about all that, and you give them their flowers for that. You really do. But at the end of the day, Eric, this is about you've won a championship, and what are you doing to win another championship? You have the best player in the world on your basketball team, and you didn't get to another Western Conference final. And there are going to be a lot of people that understandably talk about what a great effort this was in the postseason for the Nuggets. And when you stop to look at the pieces and the decisions that they made, not we made, that they made at the end of the season, yeah, okay, 2 Game 7s in a row, okay. But, you still have nothing to show for it. The only thing that you really have to show for it are the lingering questions of how you're going to try to put this team together with great limitations on how to do so moving forward. It's tough.
This is how you know a player is a superstar. When he's asked a question and he gives an answer that you already know the answer to before he asks the question.
Yeah, right.
Jamal Murray was asked, is this a championship roster? He said yes. Nikola Jokic was asked that same question, and he said no. Give me any player that you have truly covered that would give the same answer that Jokic gave. It is so few. A Michael Jordan would do that.
Right.
A Kobe Bryant would do that. I learned more about Nikola Jokic with that one answer than I have watching him play basketball.
Yeah. And it was so coldly matter of fact. And it's right. And I don't know what kind of look, you got to start to figure out who their assets are at this particular point and what you're moving forward with and who you're trusting. Eric, here's the greatest misfortune of the last 2 years. They still don't know what they've got from Tyson and Pickett and to a large degree Julian Strawther. More Julian Strawther. I think you kind of know what you have with him.
What do you have?
But you've got a guy that can shoot, but I don't think we know much else, and a guy that can't defend on ball. But collectively, we don't know enough about these guys. They've been on the roster for 2 years now, and we still don't know enough about those three guys.
Yeah, we do. We do in one. We do in one area. We know they are not NBA starters. That's what we know.
Right. And that's not going to change. Now, can they be pieces? Remains to be seen. And that to me is the greatest takeaway of the last 2 years. The unwillingness, inability, or they knew something that we didn't of their roster and the young players that they brought onto this roster and not knowing how much they could help in a high leverage situation. We had the one shining moment from Strawther that was a one-off. First thing he did yesterday when he walked into the game was turn the ball over. Now, he wasn't the only one, right? He wasn't the only one. But I'm not going to use the word criminal, but it is very unfortunate that you've got 3 young players that you used draft picks on, high draft picks on, that you still really don't know. To your point, they're not starters. Okay, but what are they? What are they? Are they part of the puzzle moving forward, or are they non-factors? Now we don't know about Deron Holmes, obviously. We don't know about him yet. So there's hope moving there. But man, you got some challenges right now.
Okay. Well, let's look at those 3 guys because they're all part of the same draft class. Then let's throw in Peyton Watson.
Sure.
Peyton Watson is not an NBA starter either.
No.
He's not.
No.
So with that, you have wasted guys now, meaning you can't promote any of them with any type of confidence. Christian Braun, I think you and I at the very least felt you could promote him to the starting lineup. We saw enough offense from him. We saw enough defense from him. Is he an all-star? Probably not. It's kind of, when you look at the bench of an NBA team, is similar to looking at guys in the bullpen in baseball. Your starters in baseball throw 3 or 4 pitches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your middle relievers throw 2 to 3 pitches. Your back end guys throw 2. Pretty much.
Yeah.
In basketball, your starters, for the most part, if they are great players, they show consistency every night, like Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
Yeah. A step below starter, not all-star level, but a step below, which is still pretty high, are your Aaron Gordons of the world. You could get, 25 points. You can get 20 points. You can get 15 points. But he's also going to do something else to help your team as well. He's going to rebound consistently every night or play defense consistently every night. That's a high-level starter. That is your Aaron Gordon. Your Michael Porter Jr. is a starter. 50% of the time, he's terrific. 50% of the time, you have no idea what you're getting. Then you have your Julian Strathers of the world, Pickett, Peyton Watson. 25% of the time, you're going to get something consistent, maybe something else, maybe not, but they're never truly going to be starters in this league. So eventually, when Jamal Murray retires and Nikola Jokic retires and Aaron Gordon retires, what do you got? You have literally nothing. You don't have one starter on your team. No one. I mean, how comfortable are you going to feel even projecting out? Julian Strawther starting at the 2 or 3. Peyton Watson starting at the 3 or 4. Hunter Tyson starting at the 4 or 5. Jalen Pickett starting at the 1 or 2. That's as bad of a basketball team as you could possibly put together.
Yeah. And that's where they are. And not only are they there, they have to, and I think it's painfully obvious, just as it's painfully difficult to see how they're going to do it. They've got to be able to identify an asset that someone wants for a couple of pieces or a piece, whatever the case may be.
Okay, who's your core? Who's your core of this team?
Jokic, Murray, Gordon, Brown.
Sure you want to put Murray in there?
Well,
this is why I asked the question.
I mean, he better be, right? You're paying him $206 million now.
You don't trade your core.
No.
Okay, so Murray's off the table.
Yeah. It would be Porter. And that's it. And we've talked about this ad nauseum.
You know what you're going to get for Porter? This candle.
Yeah.
By the way, this candle used to be this tall.
There you go.
Yeah. Used to be this tall. Now you're getting this.
Yeah.
That's what you're getting. So what are you really going to get in return?
Well,
Considering everybody in the NBA has seen him play when he is healthy, knowing he is an injury waiting to happen, do you think any team is going to trade you back a Caruso?
No, probably. But I think that you can. He's a scorer, and so
don't try and convince me. I'm not your trade partner. No one's whatever you want to say.
I wouldn't trade
I'm not
for him.
believing.
I wouldn't trade for him. But can you? I mean, can you even identify what you need for him at this particular point?
Here, this is the question that I will ask you. You are the new Nuggets GM.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your sales pitch on trading Porter to another team.
He can shoot. He's a streaky shooter. There isn't one.
Well, right when you threw in the word streaky, you just lost me. I just hung up the phone on you.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that.
He's a good third scorer, and he probably could be a second scorer on a bad team. Could be. Now, what you get from that, I don't know, because to your point, and I agree with it, I do think that people know where the Nuggets are at this point. They know what they need. They know what they're looking for. So, but really, they have no other assets. They have no assets that are tradable. You're not trading Jamal Murray with his contract, which, by the way, starts this next year.
Yep.
You're just not. And, I mean, you're going to live with Jamal Murray. And you can live with Jamal Murray. There's enough good from Jamal Murray that you can still hope that you see it more consistently than not. I think Aaron Gordon is part of the answer. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world. They've just got to find, and I don't know if there are answers in the guys they've got on this roster. What makes anyone think that Julian Strawther can be a 22-minute a game kind of guy and not hurt you defensively? I mean, I haven't seen it. What makes anyone think that Hunter Tyson can possibly play more than 7 or 8 minutes at this level? Jalen Pickett. Maybe we saw a little something from him during the season, but where was the trust factor down the stretch? Yeah, he got some minutes at various times, which was kind of nice to see. Surprised me. I was a guy that thought, why are you even going into the season with this guy? I was wrong about that, but I don't think that we're wrong about wondering if he brings anything to the table for this team. I'll go back to what you said. Are any of these guys future starters? It's hard for me to say yes. So, but you can't stand pat. You can't, you've got to do something now that might be painful for some Nuggets fans. Fans mean nothing in this equation now. You've got to do something for this team, and specifically for Nikola Jokic, who is playing at the height of his powers. He's never going to be better than what he is right now. It's if you get through this thing in the next 4 years without having gotten to another Western final, I mean, that's pain, man. You'll always have that championship, but that's pain.
I have an answer on how the Nuggets can win another championship.
You go.
And it has nothing to do with trading Michael Porter Jr. or Jamal Murray.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to go down because they have to, because of some unforced errors.
Right.
They need to walk down the same road as 3 other teams around the league. And I'll tell you that road and what it looks like next.
Everyone has their favorite sports bar. Mine, the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch in the DTC.
Both locations are everything a sports bar should be. An upscale menu with 12 different burgers, outstanding wings, and my favorite, the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. They've got every game on the NFL Sunday Ticket, MLB Extra Innings, NHL Center Ice, NBA League Pass, plus soccer, rugby, and UFC. Sportsbook is a hangout bar or great for private parties. The Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, the DTC, and coming soon to Parker. They are the sports bar.
Ever wondered where city and county fleet vehicles go when they retire? Now's your chance to find out and score big. Imagine driving away with a great deal on a reliable vehicle. For over 45 years, Roller Auction has been the trusted source for government fleet vehicles and equipment. Trucks, SUVs, sedans, and more, all selling to the highest bidder. Don't miss out. Visit roller.bid/hottakes to get auction updates today. Your next vehicle could be just a click away.
Everyone has their favorite barbecue spot. Mine, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew. My favorites, slowly smoked ribs, smoked corned beef Reuben, smoked meatloaf with a portobello balsamic cream sauce. And don't forget about Smokin' Dave's 16-hour smoked brisket and pork with one of their 4 homemade barbecue sauces. Great sides, you bet. Barbecue beans made with pork and brisket and their southern corn bake. Man, you gotta try it. Plus, they have amazing non-barbecue entrees on the menu. Go where I go, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew in North Denver.
Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos in Blackhawk have another incredible promotion. They'll be giving away a Ford Bronco Raptor or nearly $30,000 in cash the weekend of May 23rd. Get finalist entries from 10 a.m. until midnight during their daily cash drawings every 45 minutes or by redeeming player points. And all daily cash drawings that don't get picked are eligible for a second chance drawing on Wednesdays, and that can turn into extra cash. Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos, a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
Spice up your next night out at Nola Jane and Lodo. Authentic Cajun cuisine like andouille sausage gumbo with dirty rice, crawfish etouffee, as well as 6 different po' boys like soft-shell crab and shrimp. Come in before or after a game at Ball Arena. Host a party or party on their rooftop deck overlooking Market Street during happy hour from 11 a.m. to 5. Plus, Nola Jane caters, delivers, and the kitchen is open late night. Make Nola Jane your new favorite spot to eat, drink, and party like it's Mardi Gras.
And welcome back, Hot Takes Goodman and Haertl. The Nuggets do have an option. It is a nuclear option. Time now for What's Trending.
What's Trending is presented by Nola Jane in the heart of Lodo. No one does Cajun cuisine better than Nola Jane. Go see why their award-winning menu is the best in town.
When you run a business and you make bad business decisions, sometimes you are forced to spend your way out of a problem. And sometimes those decisions can be punitive in a lot of different areas. The Nuggets can spend as much money as they want to. They can spend, I don't know, $1 billion on their salary if they want to. They just have to walk into something called the second apron. And that is punitive. It is new in the CBA as of 2-3 years ago, whatever it is. This past season, Phoenix, Minnesota, and Boston were all in the second apron. Going into the second apron can be crippling to a franchise. But Boston did it. They just won a championship. Okay. Minnesota is there as well, even after trading Karl Anthony Towns. But they're trying to win a championship with Anthony Edwards. Right?
Right.
Then you have Phoenix, who thought it was trying to win a championship quickly with Kevin Durant and Booker. Clearly, that is not going to work out, and they are in big trouble because they will have nothing to show for it. The Nuggets can go into the second apron. This past offseason, Calvin Booth and Josh Kroenke, I think it was Kroenke or Booth, I can't remember who, addressed saying, we would be willing to go into the second apron because we are the stewards of Nikola Jokic's career and his championship window. With that, if you are truly committed to maximizing this championship window in Nikola Jokic, I really don't see any other option. No one is going to give you really anything in return for Michael Porter Jr. And oh, by the way, yeah, you could trade Michael Porter Jr. You just have to bring back similar salaries.
Right.
So with that, what are you truly getting back? I'll ask you this. Would you trade up would you make a straight trade? And I'm not saying this because this happened yesterday. I'm not saying this because it happened throughout the series. Who would you rather have? Michael Porter Jr. or Alex Caruso? Straight up deal.
I would take Alex Caruso.
And the reason why I would is, no, he's not going to go on a hot streak of hitting 5 3-pointers, although he's not a bad 3-pointer.
He's a pretty good shooter, yeah.
But his defense is just suffocating. So he brings a lot of different things. I understand the value of Michael Porter Jr., but when you throw in injuries, when you throw in what goes on up here, specifically in crunch time, not really playing defense that well, all of that, you take Caruso. No one's giving you a Caruso for Michael Porter Jr. So, yes, you might be able to lengthen your bench by trading him, but who's really going to make that move? You got to bring in at least 2 guys. You have to bring in guys of the same caliber of maybe a Bruce Brown. Why not Bruce Brown? Why not bring him back?
Yeah, why not?
Now, you're going to go way into it because he's going to demand a lot of money. I don't know really what they do, but they have to have at least 2 highly reliable guys to come off the bench. And I'm not so sure Russell Westbrook is going to be here next year. But then again, sadly, it's his decision. Same with Dario Saric. Calvin Booth made a brilliant decision by giving both of those guys player options. You might be stuck with them.
Yeah, when you stop to think about Zeke Nnaji, Saric, Westbrook, these are all guys that they're saddled with right now. Now, look, Russell Westbrook made contributions, but I mean, he made contributions during the season. He helped them get to where they got, but it wasn't a help getting them over the hump. So now you're in a situation, and you're right. The only way that you can really guarantee help is through free agency. And the only way that you can do that is to, in some ways, mortgage your future, because you lose it's about draft picks. It's about, there's all kinds of permutations with stepping out onto the second apron. But in the here and the now, it still allows you to be competitive and relevant. And the Nuggets have got to do something, and they probably have to do something rash here. And I, on first blush, I agree with you on Michael Porter Jr. You're not going to get a great return for Michael Porter Jr. He's being paid too much for what he provides. He's a very much a one-trick pony. He does have numbers. I think he could be a shiny object for somebody that's in dire need of a 2 or a 3 scorer. Okay, he's got a little size, but his game has not improved. I mean, he's still a spot-up shooter, and he doesn't move well without the basketball, things of that nature. It makes it difficult to find a trade partner for that. But more than anything, you've laid it out well. You're going to have to go into free agency. And by the way, you're not going to dip your toe. This is where you go into your waist. You got to wade in, and you got to know that it's going to be pretty damn cold in there. And you're going to have to catch your breath somehow and figure out how to make this happen. Otherwise, this team will be in a similar situation next year. You can't have those 4 frontliners playing 44, 45 minutes a game in the postseason. You can't do it. Nikola Jokic said as much yesterday.
Yep. Well, here with Saric, you got about between 8 and 9 million, or excuse me, you have about 5. I think you have about 5 million in him. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, and then you've got
Saric
change with Nnaji, and then what's Westbrook's?
I'll tell you right now. I have it in front of me.
Okay.
Yeah, 5.5 with Saric. I'd be stunned if he doesn't take the player option. Right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's money in his pocket.
That's right. He's coming back.
Yeah, right.
Russell Westbrook is $3.5 million. Nnaji is $8 million. And then you have Michael Porter Jr., who's coming up on 38. You can make the case that all 4 of those guys are untradeable. And the only one who's truly tradable is Michael Porter Jr., and you're probably going to have to take on a bunch of contracts that you don't want, unless you get lucky. Unless you have a team that thinks that they have guys who are just bench guys. But then again, the Nuggets have just bench guys. And you said it very well. You trade him to a team. It's not like I want to get rid of him. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If he was a jerk, it'd be easier to talk crap about him.
Sure.
But he's a really nice guy, right?
Yep, very much so.
So let's say you traded him to a bad team. If you're trading Michael Porter Jr. to a team to be the number 2 or number 3 scorer on the team, there's a reason why that team is a bad team.
Right.
They don't have a lot of depth.
Right.
And they don't have a lot of talent. If you are not good enough to start on a bad team and you're getting limited minutes off your bench, I don't want you either.
You're not finding a starter for Michael Porter Jr.
No, I don't think that's the goal.
Yeah,
The goal is to get
right
a couple of pieces
yes,
that are going to give you more production, not minutes, more production than Strother, Pickett, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And with Westbrook, I'm not over him, but I'm kind of over him.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Oh, I am.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
And you know what? I think the Nuggets are as well. Well, let's go to this report that came out about a week and a half ago from ESPN's Ramona Shelburne, where she wrote an in-depth article about the Nuggets and what goes on there. And, Aaron Gordon called out Westbrook for being immature. Ironically, I think Westbrook is older than Aaron Gordon, but that's neither here nor there. When Gordon was asked about it, he said, I'm going to do whatever I can to win Russell Wilson a ring. It sounds like there are guys in the locker room who are over Russell Westbrook. They were over Michael Malone playing Westbrook too much. We knew who Russell Westbrook was before they brought him in. And according to this article, they had thought about bringing Westbrook more than a few times, but they didn't want to upset Jamal Murray. But they eventually hit a point where they were so bereft of potential, big minutes, big production, for lack of a better phrase, out of your bench, they had to bring him in. It was head shaking watching some of the basketball plays he made yesterday. It really was.
Yeah.
Such an important game. He scored 6 points. You really needed him. And it's more than just yesterday's game. Again, this is the analogy I used on Friday, and I'll use it again in case people missed it. When you have Russell Westbrook on your roster coming off the bench, your head coach has a live grenade in his hand. Pin out. Either he's going to throw it to the other bench and blow them up with Russell Westbrook scoring, playing defense, rebounding, or he's not going to realize that grenade was super glued to his hand and it's going to blow his arm off along with half of his bench.
Yeah.
That's who Russell Westbrook is.
Yeah.
You really do. He's going to blow something up. You just don't know if it's going to be the other team or your team.
It's a bit of a mess, isn't it? And for them to get to a game 7 in the second round against the top seed and to have a chance is admirable. And on some level, it's hopeful that you can still manage that and play through injuries like you did with MPJ and with Aaron Gordon. There's a lot of it that you feel really good about. But at the end of the day, this is a franchise now that's not about feel good. This is a franchise that's about, are they a championship contender or not? They won a championship a couple years ago. They have the best player in the world. I keep coming back to that. That's what changes the view of the Denver Nuggets. It doesn't matter that they had, an heroic second round, that they somehow got to 7 games with a team that beat them by 18 games in the standings nobody cares. Are you in the Western Finals with a chance to get back to the NBA Finals and win another championship? They're the ones that have changed the target. The target is championship basketball. They're the ones that talk about winning championships. So, look, I love the story. It was a really nice run, but that doesn't get you anything.
For the Nuggets, it was a confluence of unfortunate injuries. Jokic was dealing with an elbow all year. I'm not going to make excuses, but that didn't really play a role in this series at all. For the final couple games, Jamal Murray was dealing with an illness. He played great in Game 6, regressed to the mean in Game 7.
Right.
When it comes to injuries, Michael Porter Jr. was legitimately injured throughout the majority of the playoffs.
Right.
Do I think that the Nuggets win this series if Michael Porter Jr. is healthy, or healthy for what he is healthy? Yeah, I think there's a chance. I think there's a good chance, actually. Okay.
Yeah.
And then in Game 7, Aaron Gordon is hobbling out there, but with the way OKC was playing defense, I don't think Aaron Gordon would have made that much of a difference. The OKC just turned up the crank. If you go into next season with your starting 5 intact, I feel great about the season.
Yes.
Now, what you have to do is you need to, unlike Phoenix, which was in the second apron, what did they do? They spent a boatload of money for a starter in Bradley Beal. Nuggets don't need to do that. They need to get 2 or 3 players at salary.
That's exactly right. Yes.
Beg and plead Saric not to extend his player option, which he will. Maybe, I don't know if they want Russell Westbrook back. It sounds like he was a problem, but he was also a solution.
Sure.
I don't know where that's going to go. And you're crossing your fingers on Deron Holmes.
Yes. Yeah, you really are.
I mean, Zeke Nnaji wasn't a Russell Wilson type of signing, wasn't a Chris Bryant type of signing. Zeke Nnaji is not going to go down as one of the worst signings in Denver sports history. But boy, they could really use that $9 million now, couldn't they?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And when you stop to think about some of the other salaries that they're paying for limited to no return, Saric, I mean, these are decisions that were made that, and I remember being pretty enthusiastic about Saric. I mean, based upon who he was and the money that they were paying him, but he wasn't that kind of player all season long, and not from jump. He's been nothing but a cheerleader.
Here's the bottom line
all season long. So
this is all you need to know about the Nuggets roster. I understand that David Adelman was Michael Malone's understudy, but David Adelman is his own guy. Michael Malone got fired. He's not going to completely follow in the footsteps of Michael Malone out of respect for Michael Malone. He wants the head coaching job. He is going to do what he believes is right for this team to win. He is going to play the players he believes gives this team the best team to win. He essentially did what Michael Malone did. Didn't play a lot of the young guys. Sure as hell didn't play Zeke Nnaji. That, to me, is as damning of a statement to Calvin Booth as anything. 2 coaches didn't want your moving forward plan. 2 coaches, not because they colluded with each other. They didn't like the guys that you brought in. 2 separate coaches. Calvin, if it's one coach and you want to argue with them all day, it might get you fired, right? Which it did.
Yeah.
If it's one coach, you can say, okay, this guy, and I just don't see eye to eye. Calvin, you didn't see eye to eye with 2 coaches. And it's not because Adelman was placating Michael Malone.
I wonder how much Adelman would have used those guys if he had, say, 25 games left in the regular season,
Fair
30
point.
games left in the regular season.
Maybe they just weren't ready.
Yeah, but he had 3 games left in the regular season. So, and by that time, you've got to play with the hand. You said it well. You play with the hand that's been given to you, and you play with the strongest hand that you possibly can and hope that it can run the course. It almost did, but not quite.
That's going to do it for us. Hot Takes with Goodman and Haertl. Have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow.